Hey, I'm Ansley Cole, and I'm out at the Germain Robin Aging Cellar. And what I've got here is Crispin Cain of the American Craft Whiskey Distillery, his first release of bourbon. And he told me something interesting about this the other day. He waited quite a while to make this because he wanted to know really completely what he was doing. He wanted to be completely comfortable with the process of making whiskey before he put his hand into bourbon. And this is the mash bill here is about 51% corn, and the rest of it is rye and malted barley, and it spent the entirety of its existence inside new bourbon barrels. It's a straight bourbon. And you know, these are all being distilled. All those whiskeys are being distilled on a very old-fashioned 17 hectoliter cognac still that we got from the Maison Sereine people, brought over here. And it just really shows up. I mean, it's a lot like anything we put through these stills. When it comes off the still, we're putting good material into it, there's very, very, very little sense of alcohol, even when it's at 60 or 70%. And then when you age it for a while and bring it down to, this is about, 45%, something like that, 43.2% alcohol. When you bring it down to that, put it on your nose, you can inhale as deeply as you want. There's just none of that raspy harshness that you get when you smell most distilled spirits. And then all you get with this is this very soft, sort of floating, beautiful bourbon. And, you know, complex, long, this nice clear flavors. This is really beautifully made. I'm going to talk a minute about how I feel about this. I very rarely have a bourbon I like. My sense is people grew up on bourbons that were not made as well as they could be. They tend to be harsh, and so there's a lot of sugar in them. And they tend to be overly oaked because they have to put them into new barrels and let them sit. You know, if it's 8 years old, it's been sitting 8 years in a bourbon barrel. And so what you get mostly is sort of oak and alcohol. This is the first bourbon I've ever tasted. I've tasted a lot of pretty famous ones that I thought was, you know, what bourbon should be. This is beautiful, beautiful product. And I've had a number of people tell me, we just released this about 2 weeks ago, but a number of the people tasted it first, said to me, you know, this is the best bourbon I've ever tasted.